Okay, let me see. All right, here we go. Okay, everybody, thank you for waiting. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we got it sorted out here with YouTube here. So, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for waiting. This is the Needle Movers Mastermind, the first one of its iteration, and kind of what we are is a group of team leaders all across North America that network together and brainstorm ideas, and we share a lot of the same stuff that we're doing on our teams and that we're helping agents in our companies. We're coaching them on whatever topics that we're talking about now. All of these kind of go across all the teams, and we're just bringing this value to you and sharing it to you as kind of like a free resource. So first, we're going to start off with Justin Bringus of the Bring Us Home team, and he's going to be taking us through some of the top points that he likes to coach on for his team and what he's most comfortable with. So Justin, we'll let you take it away and get started.
Let's go. Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for having me on, John. Thank you for putting this together, and everybody in Reside today that's going to participate and contribute. I just wanted to say thank you. And for the folks that are watching us, thank you for your patience while we had some technical difficulties. I wanted to go over 3 main points today that I think every agent should very well understand, whether you're an established agent or whether you're an agent that's just starting out. Those 3 subjects for me today are going to be mindset, daily schedule, and some talk tracks, some one-liners that you can use today to get people to stay on the phone a little bit longer with you. So as we are having some technical difficulties today getting started, something came to my mind, and I just want to start with this. If you're not failing, you're not trying. But let's talk a little bit about mindset. One of the things, mindset is very, very important. It's either going to drive you to the next level, or it's going to put a roadblock in the way that you're not going to be able to get through. And one of the mindset principles that I live and breathe by is you can or you can't. You decide. It's what you tell yourself. So we all have this thing called a reticular activating system. It's a filter in our brain that when we feed it ideas, it is going to look for instances in our life to support that idea. So for instance, if anybody's ever been wanting to buy a new car, I want a brand new F-150 truck. I want a white F-150 truck. What happens is you start seeing white F-150 trucks all over the road. It's not that there's more white F-150s all over the road all of a sudden. It's your reticular activating system, the filter in your brain, filtering everything else out and bringing to surface, bringing to light that idea that you're feeding it. So you can or you can't. You decide is what you tell yourself. If you tell yourself you can do something, your reticular activating system is going to look for instances in your life and throughout your day to support that idea that you can do it. Vice versa, if you tell yourself you can't, your reticular activating system is going to look for instances throughout your day to tell you, see, I told you, you can't do that. Another thing I want you guys to understand is nothing changes if nothing changes. So my team and I have started watching some motivation videos in our team meetings on Tuesday, and nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't make changes internally, if you don't make small tweaks, for lack of better words, to your day of your actions, then nothing will change. I want to lose weight. Well, if I don't start eating healthy and going to the gym, nothing is going to change. Well, I want to learn how to swim. Well, if I don't ever put on my swim trunks and jump into the pool, I'm never going to learn how to swim. So nothing changes if nothing changes. You got to remember this, guys. Change starts with you. A quick quote from Mike Tyson: discipline is doing the shit you hate, but doing it like you love it. And you got to have that mindset that everything we do in life that's worthwhile, all of the good things that we do are going to be hard. A feng shui rule, and I'm not too familiar with feng shui, so if I kill this, I apologize, guys. But if it's easy now, life is harder later. And if it's harder now, life is easier later. So if you do the hard work today, the prospecting, the follow-up, the digging deep, the self-discipline, the self-education, the market awareness. If you do the hard stuff today, your life will get easier. But if you avoid the hard stuff today, your real estate career just gets harder and harder and harder because you get further and further behind. Get into action. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get into action. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get into action today. It starts today. It starts at the end of the Zoom. It starts today. You're going to learn some things today from all of us speaking that I know you're going to have some takeaways. Now, we're not expecting you to take everything and implement everything. That's insane. Take 2 to 3 things today that resonate with you and implement them into your business over the next 30 days. And in 30 days, when you've built the routine, you've built the discipline, come back and watch this again and take another 2 or 3 things and put it into your business. A couple quotes from John Cheplack. If you guys know who he is, if you don't, I encourage you to follow him on Facebook. Tiny hinges swing big doors. It's the little things that we do on a daily basis that make the biggest changes in the long run. Tiny hinges swing big doors. One more thing from John. I am going to do the same boring shit today that I did yesterday, and I'm going to do the same boring shit again tomorrow because it's the boring shit that got me here. Moving on to the next. I've only got a little bit of time. I'm doing good with time, John? All right. I want to talk a little bit about a daily schedule. I think so many of us, struggle with this. Like, what should my daily schedule look like? And I want to talk from a perspective of how I manage my day, how I encourage my agents to manage their day, and how I encourage you guys to manage your day. I hope that everybody would agree that us that are going to be on this training, for lack of better words, today, we've got pretty busy schedules, and I'm doing a lot. I'm still in production. I'm still helping buyers and sellers. I'm recruiting to grow my team. I'm helping develop my agents. I'm running an operations team. I'm running a company. I'm running an organization. We got lead gen. We got lead conversion. I could go on and on about the things that I have to tackle on a daily basis. And the only way it would be possible is if I follow a schedule and I stick to it day after day after day. Because eventually the schedule becomes routine for me. I don't even need to think about it. If I were to share with you my calendar, you could pick any future date in the year, and my calendar is already filled out. My days are the same days over and over. Now, like this is in the middle. I'm in California. It's 9:21 in the morning. This is in the middle of my prospecting time. There are times, there are exceptions to the rule where I'm allowed to introduce something into my day that might not have been planned. But 90%, 95% of the time, I want to stick to my schedule, because if I don't stick to my schedule, I start giving myself excuses. And those excuses will just multiply. I'll use the gym as an example. I'm not feeling well today. I'm tired. I'm this. I don't feel like going to the gym. Or we'll get back to prospecting. You know what? I had a bad day on the phone yesterday. I had some people saying some mean things to me. Oh, I didn't get as many people on the phone. In life, we can give ourselves excuses, or we can figure a way to go around it. And the easiest way I found to do that is to stick to a schedule. And if I start allowing myself excuses as to why I don't want to do something, tomorrow the excuse gets easier to make. And the next day the excuse gets easier to make. And before I know it, I'm no longer making excuses because I'm just not doing the work. I encourage everybody, this is you, in real estate, whether you're working for yourself or whether you're on a team, you are running your own business. It's your brand. It's your image. It's how the public, it's how the consumers see you. And so I've got to operate, whether I'm a solo agent, whether I'm growing a team, or whether I'm on a team, I have to operate my day as if this is my own business. Sorry, my light went off in my office. that I am solely responsible for. So every one of my days start at 8 a.m. In California, we're allowed to start making calls at 8 a.m. My day starts at 8 a.m. Now, I'm usually in here a little bit before. There's some days where I'm dropping the kids off at school. I got 5 kids. I got a big family. My day starts between 8 and 11 a.m. every day. I am prospecting. That is me reaching out into the database, new leads, leads that are under 30 days old, leads that are over 30 days old. I spend a minimum 2 to 3 hours every day reaching out to people and forming new relationships. You have to understand that conversations equal commissions. The more people I talk to, the more relationships I build. The more relationships I build, the more people that like, know me, and trust me. And the more people that know, like me, and trust me, when it comes time for them to engage in real estate, they are more likely to choose me as long as I'm doing the follow-up. If I met you guys today and we hit it off and I never called you again, you would say, well, I thought Justin and I really hit it off, but he must not like me very much. He never called me again. And how many of you guys do that with the clients that you meet out in the open, at an open house, door knocking, calling? You do all of this hard work to get them on the phone, to build that relationship, and then you ghost them like a bad habit. Every day between 8 and 11, I am prospecting. Every single one of my clients that I meet, I let them know, hey, John, thanks for taking the listing, man. I'm looking forward to getting your home sold. Just so you know, every morning between 8 and 11, I am prospecting. I'm trying to find more opportunities for you because you're going to be buying. I'm trying to find opportunities for my other clients, et cetera, et cetera. And I train, for lack of better words, my clients the expectations of my availability. So they know that between 8 and 11, I'm not going to take an inbound call because I'm not going to get distracted. How many of us say, hey, I'm going to prospect today at 8 o'clock, at 8:15, we take that inbound call. It's a client calling in with something that we didn't really want to hear, and now our whole day is a landslide. Now I can't get back on the phone and prospect because this negative news that I just learned mind screwed me, for lack of better words, and I can't get back into the rhythm. I pull a joke out with my clients. Listen, between 8 and 11 every morning, I am prospecting. So if the house is on fire, call the fire department and I'll call you at 11:01. And when my clients call me at 9:45 in the morning, hey, Justin, I know you're prospecting right now, but as soon as you're done, can you give us a call? I have trained them the expectation. The same way that you would never fire a doctor, a dentist, a CPA, an attorney because they're not available. You want people that are busy. If your lawyer isn't busy, if your CPA isn't, if your doctor isn't busy, I would argue that they're not that good. And so allowing my clients to understand that between 8 and 11, I'm prospecting, it's letting them know that, hey, I'm busy. It's letting them know that, hey, I know how to manage my day. And it's also setting the expectation of why they might not be able to get me on the phone during that time. Every single day, it's 1 hour of follow-up. Now, I'm a follow-up boss user. I hope that the majority of you guys are. We use smart lists, ABC, hot, warm, cold, for lack of better words. It is my duty at the end of every day to make sure my list A, B, and C, and then I have a list for active clients, people that are in contract, people that I'm actively showing homes to, listings, etc., that every single day my list is at 0. Now, that doesn't mean I'm calling everybody every single day. That's another training for another day. We have a cadence. An A lead is somebody looking to purchase in the next 60. We call every week, every 7 days. I used to call every 3. And following this routine on a daily basis of 2 to 3 hours of prospecting and an hour of follow-up has allowed myself and my team to grow our business substantially. We are already on January 23rd, about 60% of the volume that we did for last year, and last year was a record-breaking year for us. We are on this pace because for the last 3 months of the year, October, November, and December, we stayed committed to sticking to a routine so that we'd have a good start for the rest of the year. And if that isn't you right now, that's okay. You still got time. But it starts with that mindset. You can or you can't. You decide. It's what you tell yourself. So what are you going to tell yourself at the end of the day? Can you do this or can you not? I know you can. That's why you're here. Every single day, 5 days a week minimally, you should be committed to 30 minutes of role play. 30 minutes of role play. When I started in this, in the real estate side of things, I started off in the mortgage industry first, but I came in as a real estate agent in October of 2014. I would go into large groups, Facebook groups. I would reach out to agents that I didn't know. I'd see agents on Facebook that I admired, and hey, do you mind role playing? Hey, can we role play? Hey, can we role play? Hey, can we role play? Some people will stay committed. Some people will stop showing up. It was a revolving door for me. But I always wanted to role play with people of different skills, people of different backgrounds, people in different areas of the United States, because when you're on the phone prospecting, that's what you're going to get. I don't want to role play with my best friend every day whose personality I already know and understand. I want to role play with strangers. And eventually I'm going to get to a point with that role play partner where we've helped each other to the fullest extent that we're going to. And now I need another role play partner. Think about it. A kicker, we're all getting ready for the Super Bowl. Most of us are. A kicker warms up his leg before he goes out and kicks a field goal. He's on the side of the field warming up his leg. A relief pitcher in a baseball game is back in the bullpen warming up his arm. Why aren't you warming up your skills on a daily basis with role play? And if you are, awesome, keep it going. And if you aren't, it's something you need to get started today. My afternoons are for appointments. This morning routine basically, and by the way, those 11 o'clock calls is part of my 1 hour follow-up. All those people that are calling me that their house is on fire, right? The call that can wait, but you think it can't wait. It can wait. Trust me, it can wait. My prospecting comes first, because let's go back to what John Cheplak says. I'm going to do the same boring shit today I did yesterday. I'm going to do the same boring shit again tomorrow, because it's the boring shit that got me here. That boring shit, that unsexy stuff is the prospecting. It's the follow-up. And without that, I don't have a business. How many of us have had a great month? We stopped the prospecting, we stopped the follow-up, and then all of a sudden we're dry for 1 or 2 months. It's because we stopped the activities that got us there in the first place. And like John said, our business now becomes a roller coaster. But if I can manage my day successfully and I prospect and follow up every day, I will have a business that slowly inclines, excuse me. We don't want it to decline. Inclines, going up. But it starts with the fundamentals of me doing the things nobody else wants to do. That's what makes the great, is they're willing to do the work others aren't willing to do. And when you can put yourself in that position, great things will happen. I've never been fired by a client because I didn't answer my phone before 11. Never. I've never been fired from a client because they said, oh, wait, you manage your day? So, well, I'm not going to work with you because you manage your day too. I've never had that happen. You get fired from a client when your expectations aren't set, when you're not clear on what they should expect, when your communication isn't there. The fact that I'm communicating and letting them know what to expect makes it a better scenario for all of us, a better transaction for all of us. My afternoons are for appointments. 12 o'clock, I go to lunch. I bring a prep meal in. I actually eat in the office most days. If I need a stress relief, I get out of the office. There's times, guys, where I get those calls that aren't the funnest, aren't the best, and it throws me off tilt. One of those instances, I'm going to go take a walk outside. I'm going to go get my car and drive up the freeway and listen to the radio and roll my windows down. I'm in California. We can do that right now. Some of you guys are probably buried in snow. I do the things that I have to do to make sure that my mindset is right. You can or you can't. You decide. It's what you tell yourself. I tell myself every day that I can. Can I do everything? Absolutely not. Is there things that I need to do better at? Absolutely. Are there things that I fail at? Yes. But I tell myself I can do it. I tell myself I'm going to do it. Because then my mind, my brain, my reticular activating system is feeding me, telling me you can do this, you could do this, you could do this. My afternoons are for appointments. If I don't have any appointments for the day, and I usually reserve 1 to 5 p.m. for appointments. If I do not have appointments for a day, I'm back on the phone prospecting. I am back on the phone. How much prospecting should I do, Justin? As much as it takes. How many calls a day should I make? My goal for myself and for my agents, my goal is really 20 conversations a day. But the minimum conversation a day should be 10 conversations. It's 50 a week. It's 200 a month. Out of those 200 people, half of them will be somebody you want to work with or that wants to work with you back. You're now down to 100 people. Out of those 100 people, half of them will commit to working with you. You're now down to 50. Out of those 50 people, half of them will actually show up to the appointment or show up to the appointment with the lender. You're now down to 25. Out of those 25 people, half of them will actually turn in their docs to the lender. We're now down to 12 people. If I do a good job of pre-qualing people and asking them the right questions before I send them over to the lender, I should be able to get 75% of those people approved. There's 9. Can you not close half of that a month? And for some of us, those ratios are going to be much better, much higher. They're going to get more closings out of those same 200 conversations on a monthly basis. But it starts with the conversations. Remember what I said, conversations equal commissions. I've never walked into my office and had a check from somebody I never spoke to. If I want to make more money, I talk to more people. So if I don't have appointments in the afternoon, I am focused on more prospecting or self-development, training, getting into Reside, getting into Teachable for those of us that are in that group. Going out and finding environments where I can learn, picking up a book. I don't allow my afternoon to become, well, I'm going to the beach. I'm going to go, I don't get my nails done, but I'm going to get my nails done. It's not time for me to relax. My day is not done. I have not accomplished my goals. If I'm not doing more prospecting or self-development, I'm out previewing homes in my marketplace so that I can gain market awareness. I live in an area, Temecula and Murrieta. We got Temecula wine country. I've only been up in this area since 2015. I grew up in San Diego. I know this area better than some people that grew up here. Why? Because I've spent the time driving around, getting familiar with the different neighborhoods, getting familiar with the different price points, getting familiar with what a house over in this neighborhood looks like compared to what a house over here in this neighborhood looks like. So that when somebody says, I'm looking for a house at this price, that's single story with RV parking in Murrieta, I automatically know to put you in West Murrieta. I'd automatically know that Spencer's Crossing in East Murrieta isn't going to be able to offer you those things because of the HOA. Having market awareness will make you better. And how great is it to know that when you go out and preview a home yesterday and all of a sudden you get that new lead on the phone and they're like, well, I'm looking at ABC Street, and you're like, well, I was just in that house yesterday and you're not going to believe it. It's absolutely stunning. Or I was just in that house yesterday. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It needs a lot of work. All of a sudden you sound and look like the professional. Wow, you've already been in this home, the client thinks. Wow, you are somebody who knows their stuff. You are somebody who I want to work with. I think you guys need to understand that in order to operate at a high level, and I may get some pushback on this, it's a 60 to 70 hour work week. I'm in the office every day, 8 to 10 hours, Monday through Friday, and I work every Saturday. Sunday afternoons, I go to church on Sunday morning. I was out all day Sunday afternoon showing homes. Sundays, I like to try to take off. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, if we work a 10-hour day, 5 days a week, there's 50. I'm out showing homes or out doing an open house. My open houses start at 6 a.m. because I'm getting signs out at 6 a.m. I'm putting a minimum of 50 signs out. Wow, that's a lot of signs. I want people to see it. Wow, that's early 6 a.m. to put signs up. I want people to see it. I want people when they're getting up to go to their Starbucks or walking their dog to see my signs out to realize I'm working hard. I want people driving around all morning long seeing my open house signs that doesn't start till 1 o'clock because I'm creating energy. We did an open house a couple months ago. I had 135 signs out. I started Friday night. I had over 120 groups through that house in one weekend. We had almost 50 offers. Most people somebody comes to my open house, how'd you see it? I saw your signs. I saw your signs. We turned down this street. We saw your signs. We turned down another street. We saw your signs. We went down this street. We saw your signs. So we said, hell, we'll come by. It works, guys. You got to be willing to outwork the other agents in your marketplace. And I'm sorry, but the agent that puts 3 signs out, good luck. When there's one person, two people, three people showing up to your open house and you have 3 signs out, maybe it was your effort. Maybe it was your planning. When you have an open house at 11 a.m. and it's 10:55 and you're still putting signs out, might be a reason your open house wasn't the way you wanted it to go. Be prepared to put in the work. Be prepared to put in the hours. This is your business. There's a Subway down the street from me. I don't know. They're open 14 hours a day, I'm guessing. I think they open at 6. They're open till 10 at night. However many hours that is. Long. Every time I'm in there, I don't eat Subway. My son does. Every time I'm in there, the owners are in there working. I think for the last 5 years, I see other employees in there, but the husband and wife are always in there. I would say that they have pride in their business. I would say that they have pride in the way that their business is growing and the consistency that they have. Operate your business the same way. All right, I'm going to close with talk tracks. These are some one-liners, guys, that you can use today to keep people on the phone longer. Scripts, right? Scripts are dying. Scripts, I say this, they got to say this. Well, what if they don't say that? Then what do you do? And if you're a novice or just starting out, you'll get mind screwed. Trying to watch my words here. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know what to say. So I'm going to start with the first one. I have an agent. There are 3 questions I ask. Awesome, John. Understand that you're working with an agent. If I may ask you real quick, are you committed to that agent? 99% of people will say yes. That's fantastic. If I may ask, have you signed any agreements with them? 99% of people will say no. Obviously, if they say yes, it's have a nice day. If they say no, my next question is, John, if I may ask you, what is that agent going to do for you in this marketplace that other agents can't or won't do? Are you committed to the agent? Have you signed any agreements with them? What is the agent that you chose to hire going to do for you that other agents in this market can't or won't do? And most of them go, what? What are you talking about? Let me say something. This probably sounds familiar, right? They said, hey, I'm going to send you some listings. You look on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, and if you see something, email it to me and I'll set up a showing. That sound familiar? And most buyers go, uh-huh. What you're doing is running what I call a reactive campaign. You're waiting for something to happen in the market by a competing agent that's going to make you compete with the rest of the market. It could take a month, it could take 6 months, it could take a year for that home to hit the market. What we do differently, and there's many things, but this is where I usually go with this. What we do differently is I run what I call you run a reactive campaign, I run an active campaign. What we are going to do is we're going to sit down, we're going to have a consultation, we're going to go over your needs, your wants, and your wishes. I want to get down to the detail. If you don't want carpet, I'm not going to bring you to a house with carpet. If you want to be an ABC neighborhood, I'm going to find the single stories, 3,000 square feet with ABC, what you're looking for. I'm going to call my title rep and say, hey, give me a list. And then what I'm going to do differently that I know most agents won't do is I'm going to go after the sellers. I'm going to go door knock them. I'm going to call them. I'm going to send them a handwritten letter. I'm going to send them a postcard. I'm going to upload their name, phone number, email, and address to Facebook, to Instagram, to Google, and I'm going to start running ads towards them. And I'm going to try to help you find an off-market listing, because if I find the listing before a competing agent does, I will bring it directly to you. And if you like it, we will hopefully be able to convince the seller to take your offer. And if you don't, well, then guess what, guys? I got a seller that's going to market. And if I find that off-market opportunity, guess what, guys? I just got my buyer into my listing, and that seller is going somewhere. And I just got 3 transactions because I was willing to do the work that most agents won't do. I'm a year out. I'm 6 months out. I'm 10 years out from buying or from selling. John, if I could ask you real quick, what changes next year to make it a better time to buy? 99% of the time, they've just got something in their way. It's usually credit, income, down payment based. Maybe it's the fear of the marketplace. What I'm trying to do when you say, hey, Justin, thanks for the call, but listen, man, I'm not going to be buying until the end of 2025. Hey, that's great. That's fantastic, man. Good thing is I'll still be in business at the end of 2025. But if I could ask you real quick, what changes at the end of 2025 to make it a better time to buy? And now they're going to give me their objection, their roadblock. And now I have an opportunity to fix it or help them navigate around it. If I don't ask, I'll never know what that objection is. And the next agent that gets them on the phone that's able to uncover that is going to win the client. I was just looking. Hopefully I'm not going too fast here. I know I'm running out of time. I was just looking. Many of us, when they say, hey, hey, John, saw you're on my website, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Thank you, Justin, for the call, but I was just looking. Most of us say, well, what is it that you're looking for? And they say, I don't know. I told you I was just looking. The question I like to ask is, hey, I appreciate you're just looking, John. If I could ask you real quick, now that you've been on the website, what have you seen so far that you like, and what is it that you'd like to stay away from? Now that you've been on the website, what have you seen that you liked, and what do you want to stay away from? And they will just, well, I saw this 3-bedroom and a cul-de-sac with a pool, but I hate HOAs. So what I'm hearing you say is you want a 3-bedroom and a cul-de-sac with a pool without any. They just gave me their criteria without even thinking about it. But if I hit them face on, oh, you're just looking, what are you looking for? They're always going to say, I don't know. I'm just looking. Told you, man, I'm just looking. I don't know. I already went over the reactive versus active campaign, and I'm going to go over the last thing, my intro. Having an introduction that is rock solid is important more than ever. If somebody answers the phone and you're mumbling, like I'm talking about, like that broken robot speech, they're going to hang up on you. You got about 7 seconds, some will say up to 30 seconds to win their attention. My intro is pretty simple. Hey, John, this is Justin with the Bring Us Home team. I'm reaching out to you because you just visited our website from Google looking at some homes in Murrieta. And I wanted to reach out because I wasn't sure if you were just looking for fun or if you're starting to plan a move. They have to answer the question. You can't say no to it. If they tell me they were just looking for fun, guess what I'm going to say? Awesome. Now that you're on the website, what have you seen so far that you like, and what is it you want to stay away from? And if they say, hey, Justin, I'm starting to plan a move, I say, great. Tell me your story. And I kick back and I let them tell me your story. Anybody have any questions? Hopefully I brought the energy today. You guys can see I'm a little energetic. I just really want to say thank you again to John and everybody else that is participating today. This was a great thing that you did for everybody in the community, John. I hope everybody realizes how much they can take away from this. But if you guys have any questions, I'm looking in the chat. I don't see anything. John, do you?
Yeah, let's hear, guys. If you have any questions, I'll give you a second to post it here. Yeah, so much energy and so much good stuff there, Justin. I wrote down a couple things. Obviously, I'm going to take away myself even, but some of those role playing, like even if you're on a team scenario, I just want to bring up that role play part again. If you're on a team scenario and you're exposed to a group that, like us in our inner circle and to reside that we've exposed our teams to, say you're shy to talk to your colleagues or whatever it is, talk to somebody else on another team that's in another market, or somebody, like, you guys are both on the same path. You're just got different shoes on. You're just in a different place, right? Like I got boots on and Justin's got flip-flops on right now over there in Cali, but him and I can get up on the phone together and we can role play. And I if I mess up or I sound like an idiot, he doesn't judge me. He doesn't care, So if you're shy, then reach out. There's more than just your inner circle to role play with there. So that's one thing.
And for those of us that are in Reside, come into the Reside group for agents. Hey, I'm looking for a role play partner. You're going to be surprised at how many people will raise their hand and want to do it with you.
Yeah, definitely. And then, the going out and educating yourself in the market. One of the things that our team does, I think that people could do is in groups, again, just utilizing groups and in a team. Like one of our best team trainings, and it's one of the hardest ones to plan, so we don't do it as often, but in the year, I'll take the whole team out or half the team out to go see a couple listings, a distressed property, maybe a brand new property, all across different areas. And I show it to them like I would show the listing to a buyer, and they get so much area knowledge, even just off me. So you guys can take, and again, that goes into role play. You can take a group of 3 or 4 colleagues, go show each other 3 or 4 houses. you can amplify what Justin said there, just adding a little bit more sauce onto it. So, all right, Justin, I think that's great. Appreciate your time. I'll get the next group in here just because we were running a little bit behind. So thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for everyone for our patience, too, while we went through those technical difficulties. Everybody have a killer day.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be bringing in the next group here. We got Hal Cohn with the Cohn Realty Group and EXP, Austin Collison with the Collison Group Real Estate, and Alex Yu with the Alex Yu team and First Team Estates. They're going to be going over prospecting your SOI and your repeat referral database. So again, lots of value there for people to take from that. And yeah, just bear with them for a second while they join in here. So they should just be logging in right now. But yeah, anything, like again, guys, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat window here. And we'll answer those. And we did start a bit late, so we might run over the 12 o'clock just slightly. So if you can stick around for the whole time, be great. If not, to answer your question, David Draddy, this video will live on this YouTube channel indefinitely as an old live, so you'll be able to access that at any point. And then we'll also be taking the gold from the talks and spurts and posting them online as well, and so you can access them multiple different ways later down the road here. So yeah, just waiting for, so we got Alex in here now, Hal's just connecting, and Austin as well is just connecting. So
hey John, how are you?
I'm doing good today. Alex, how are you?
Good. It's another day, and I'm also in Orange County, California, not too far away from Justin, but we had some rain down here, and the thing about rain is that we don't know what to do, and people don't know how to, but it's going to be a beautiful day.
If you guys don't know what to do with rain, you should stand in our 2 feet of snow. We were, I was telling another one of our colleagues there before, we were negative 47 degrees Fahrenheit for you guys there last week. So if that makes you want to come over to our market.
Unreal.
Okay,
Unreal.
Austin's in here now, and then we're just going to get Hal in here. He's just connecting, and then we'll get started. Austin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You got me?
Yep, got you there.
I tried to get my earbuds to connect, but they didn't, so I got my microphone here.
Yeah, a bit quiet there, Austin. So maybe I don't know if you can make your thing go louder at all.
Can you hear me okay, John?
You're just a little bit quieter than everybody else.
How about now?
Oh yeah, that's better. Mr. Hal, how are you doing?
I'm good. Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah, just a little quiet. See if you can turn yourself up there a little bit.
Oh, that's why.
Okay.
Well,
Looks like we're ready to go here now. So I'll
Is that better?
yeah, a little bit better. I'll let you take it away here, guys. So how if you want to start with kind of those the dialogue points, and yeah, we got about 20-ish minutes here. So take it away.
I'm good. Just so you can hear me now?
Yep. Just a little quiet. See if
What's
you can turn
up?
yourself up there a little bit.
Oh, let's see. My you can mute or recording, but you can't switch mics. Let's see.
Okay. Looks like we're ready to go here now. So I'll
Is that better?
yeah, a little bit better.
John, I'm picking up a little bit of feedback on delay. Do you hear that at all, or is it on my
I
side?
do hear it. Somebody's got their YouTube up.
20-ish minutes here. So Yeah, Hal, I think your YouTube is
So
off.
the close out of YouTube on the window, just so that's not running through the audio.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. Thanks. Is that better?
Okay, there we go. We're all set up.
Solid,
So
Hal.
you just check, talk
Go
a little
ahead.
bit louder than you usually talk, and I think we'll be good there. All right,
Okay.
go ahead, guys. Take us away.
Awesome. I guess we're getting started. Hey, everybody. I'm Hal Cohn. I am in Roanoke, Virginia, so southeastern United States. We had snow last week, but nothing like what John Rhoda actually shared with us on Facebook last week. So I am not complaining. So happy to be here and bring some value. So who's going next? Austin?
Yeah, I'm Austin Callison in Boise, Idaho, and we had snow last week as well, and now it's thawing out. So headed to California this weekend to root on the 49ers.
Oh, sweet.
Sorry, let me just, Hal, I think your YouTube is open
Awesome.
with the stream, so you just have to close your YouTube with the stream that's open.
I've got YouTube closed.
Or maybe it's Austin, or maybe it's Alex. One of y'all got YouTube open, so.
Yeah, I closed my YouTube down.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, it should be the only window open is Riverside now.
Yeah, maybe just mute if you're when you're not talking there, Hal. It's coming back through your open, so maybe I'll just mute yourself while you're not talking. Alex, go ahead.
All right, Alex over here in Orange County, California. It's going to be 70 degrees, which is pretty much what we expect today. If it's anything below that, we complain. Anything higher than that, that's too hot. But Hal, do you want to go ahead and lead off with ideas for past clients, for your sphere, and what's really working for you?
Yeah, so one of the things we always what I feel like I always hear, and we don't do the best job of, and we're improving. I think we're all of us can always improve our communication, right? Is that, hey, I've got all my sphere, I got my database, but I'm not calling them or I'm not in front of them enough. I don't know if you can on YouTube, if you guys can just kind of raise your hand or say yes if you kind of agree with that. One of the things that we like to do is, half of our business last year came from YouTube, and the other half came from Sphere and referral. We're not cold callers; we're adding that to our as a pillar, so forth. So with that, we stay in front of our Sphere in probably 3 different ways. Phone calls, not enough. Actual email newsletter once a week. We're on social, so we do social media videos to be able to stay in front of our sphere, and then we do client events as well, and we try to do call quarterly. That would be a good cadence for us doing all those things. But I saw something the other day that really resonated with me because I feel like a lot of times we won't call our database because we're like, hey, I haven't talked to them in forever. And with that, I feel bad. I feel guilty, and I don't have any value to bring. At least I do. I don't know if anybody else does or not, but I feel that way at times. But I saw this, and I thought it was really compelling and an easy thing for you to take away today, because that's the thing we want you to be able to do. Those of you who have taken time out of your busy schedule to come here today is to take some actionable items with you. Like Justin said, take like 2 to 3, implement those. So I'm going to give you this one email that you can execute and implement this afternoon. I do not say that I created it. I got it from Tom Toole, who got it from Jimmy Mackin, who got it from Tom Ferry. So, but it's actionable. So make sure you got your pen and paper ready, or you can type real fast, and I'll go through it with you. Basically, it says, first line, no introduction, which we've learned through Cheplack as far as how our email should go. She's going to say, I'm setting aside a few hours this week to put together home equity reports for my clients. Then you want to do enter and do a line break. These reports are more comprehensive and accurate than what you'd get from an online tool. Again, enter, line break. Can I send you one for your home? line break, and then let me know, ... Happy New Year, your name. You can have MailChimp. If you have a CRM, you could send that real easily, and guaranteed somebody's going to raise their hand, and that's going to get you in a conversation with them about real estate now or in the future. So I thought that was powerful for me this week. I want to be able to share that with you. You can send that to past clients. You can send it to not past clients, your forever clients. That's one thing I was going to say too. Your clients, past, present, future, are going to be forever clients. Just take past out of your vocabulary on that front. So that's what I've got for you. I know I've got two other people that are probably even stronger than I am on this, and I want them to have their time. But, listen to this, get in touch with your database. There's money in your database. Absolutely. So hopefully that was helpful.
Absolutely.
All right, Austin, maybe let's hear from you. Something that we can take away you wanted to share with the group here.
Yeah, I've got a few notes written down here to talk about our sphere business, and it's been somewhere around 60 to 70% of our business over the last few years has came from past clients, referrals, our sphere. And we try to serve our clients at a high level and create an experience for them. But on a personal level, we become friends with our clients that we have and our forever clients, like what Hal said. And so I think of the relationships, you guys, that I have in the business that I've created over the last 15 plus years, and how did I create those relationships? And I try to go back and I look at the solid relationships that I have, and those were built by doing the right thing for people, showing up, answering my phone, all these things that these guys are talking about right now, and making sure that I'm intentional about my touches. And we didn't compare notes before we spoke, but Hal took a little bit of my thunder away. And if you're providing a market analysis for your clients, they're interested in what the value of their home is. So figuring out how you're going to add value to your clients after the closing that is authentic. If there's big news in the market, be the first to tell them about it. You got something to call them up and talk to them about. Did you hear about X, Y, and Z in our marketplace? Or did you hear about the national things that are going on right now? And what does that mean for our marketplace? Lead with education and value. And once you put all this work in place with what you're doing with these people, you got to have a CRM. You got to have systematic follow-ups that, we're bringing value to people. So just a couple other quick notes that I have. We have our systematic touches. We have our newsletter. We have CMAs that we'll do for people. And the last thing that I'll say real quick here is when you get a chance to meet somebody new, you set that expectation that you're there to serve them at a high level, and you want to be able to get referrals from them in the future. And you don't get those by asking for those. You get those by showing them. Show the people that you care, and they're going to automatically send you referrals in the future, or be proud to refer their family and friends over to you.
Definitely.
Alex,
That's
you
all.
wanna go?
Those are great points there. One thing with the referral, and I want to ask, all of you guys before Alex gets started here, is how do you, I do a strong emphasis, and especially on our team, on teaching our past clients and our SOI how to refer us. Is there anything you do with that would be something you can take away, kind of like easing into that conversation about the best way to refer? What I do there is, like, if I get a phone number from somebody, hey, or I'm gonna 100%, I'm gonna call them 10 out of 10 times. Hey, my friend Hal is looking to buy a house in such and such area. I told him he has to get in touch with you. I said, here's his phone number. I know I'm gonna call him. I find when my phone number gets given out, that it doesn't reach, 1, 2 out of 10 times I get called. So that's one big thing that I like to focus on with what you're saying there, Austin, is like really educating people on how to refer us.
Yep.
Any thoughts on that from you?
I completely agree with you, and I think that when people tell us, and we've all had those situations where somebody says, "Oh, I gave your name out," and I'm like, "Well, I never heard from them, so I'm not sure if that happened." People forget, and it's our job to follow up and serve these people at a high level. And if our past clients have set the expectation that, hey, John is my guy, he's going to be giving you a call, he did a great job for us, they're greasing the skids for you a little bit. And then when you follow up in a timely manner, it's a lot easier conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that it's tough. Yeah, go ahead, Hal.
Go ahead.
Okay. So for us, what I would say is that, getting referrals, and you're absolutely right. In the beginning, I was taught that go ahead and hand out your business cards to everybody and people are going to call you. I think in my entire history, maybe one person's called me from a business card. It just doesn't happen. So what we have in the system that we have in place is that inside of my Gmail, because we use Google, there's already a template ready to shoot off so that it creates actual proof over promise. And what I mean by that is that it has a link to all our reviews. It has a little bio about our company. And it also has our 4-phase buyer process. All of that's already in an email. As soon as someone says, hey, I'm going to give your information over to, John, and he's looking to buy over there in, let's say Irvine. And so what we do automatically is like, all right, what's, John's email. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this off. It's going to have all our information because you have no idea on how they're referring you because it's not their job to know how. We have to train them to make it a lot easier and be like, after you send that, they're going to, automatically already have your email and be like, what's the best way to get in contact with John? And I'll just drop a quick message to do an introduction. Once you take them through this process, it makes it a lot easier and makes it way more likely that you're actually going to be able to work and serve at a high level of this person that they've referred out to you. So that's kind of what we've put in place in our business. Hal?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's like you have to train your friends, your family, your sphere, whoever is in your database that you've got a good relationship with, and you want to continue to do more business with like-minded people. That's one of the things we always say in our consults is, it's like we want to give you a 5-star experience so that you're going to refer us to other people. We love working with people like you. So you're going to want to be able to, even if it's a text message, like say, hey, send me their contact information via text so that I can reach out. Because if you wait on the consumer to do it, it's probably not going to happen and not happen well. And then one thing that just popped up to me on the sphere side of things is like one of the things that we've done is we will do for anybody that's in our sphere, whenever we've got their birthday, especially, is we'll do like the day before their birthday. Chris and I, or at least one of us, will pick up our phone, we'll turn it around, and we'll actually either do a happy birthday message, or we're real corny at times, and we'll actually call and we'll do the video and we'll actually sing to them. So we'll sing happy birthday to them, and they get the biggest kick out of it, and you always get a wonderful response. So it's that's one of the things we do for our database.
Hal, I'm expecting a happy birthday song from you this year, just so you know, now that you put it there.
Yeah, I got to make sure I go through Facebook and get everybody so I don't forget. So if I don't, I meant to do it the day before, or the day after. Don't do it the day of, because if you do it the day of, everybody else is telling them happy birthday. So to be memorable, do it the day before is the ideal spot. But if you happen to forget, do it the day after, and they'll still appreciate it.
We do another thing that we like to add in, and I'd like to hear if you guys do this, maybe even for your past clients, because they become your SOI as well. But like, how much snail mail are you still focusing on? Are we still doing any of that? Like, I know for our team, we send birthday, home anniversary, happy holidays. So we're right in the mix with everybody there, except for home anniversary. We're the only person that's wishing them a happy home anniversary. So we're unique in that one. And then we also we have Canada Day. So being Canada, we'll send that. And we send St. Patrick's Day as well. So those are kind of like the we're just doing that. So is there any snail mail you guys are sending that's a value?
Yeah,
We are not.
we do the standard just listed and just sold, but I like the idea, and we have a pretty good list of people that are on our email for our newsletter, but then we have people that are old school that they do snail mail. So I think mail is still there, and people appreciate something authentic showing up in their mailbox.
Yeah. Alex, you
Yeah,
send any?
I agree. Yeah, for us, we're not doing the home anniversary, but I actually learned this from my friend Shane Todd that we do send out holiday cards. So there's 4 holiday cards that actually go out. No one sends a Halloween Happy Halloween card, but we send Happy Halloween. We then I'll go ahead and then send a Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and then we do a Happy New Year. The reason we do 4 cards is that, let's say you haven't talked to your past clients or your personal clients in a while. This is the perfect primer to get back on the radar. And then it's the perfect time to reach out in the new year with Happy New Year. So it really primes the pump to get you in a position to be not only remembered, but to be in their focus again.
Yeah, and then right from there, you're running the simple "Did you get it?" talk track that we talked about yesterday, guys. Like, did you get it, right? Because you're sending that piece. Did you get it in the mail? With the birthdays, we actually include a small gift in it, and we also do it on St. Patrick's Day. We send a $1 scratcher ticket in the envelope with it. So on the birthdays, it's wishing you a happy birthday. Hope you hit big on this one. $1 scratchy. Most you can hit is $1 most times. And then on St. Patrick's Day, we're just, hey, here's wishing you the luck of the Irish this St. Patrick's Day. Hope you hit big on this one, right? $1 scratcher ticket. So that's something that I think people could easily, if you're just starting out or if you're on a team, like you could easily rip that off and implement it from us right now. Like it's not hard. I have my Nona doing it. She writes the cards by hand and seals the envelopes, put the sticker, sends it in the mail. It's gone. Like it's, now that I'm at the size I am, obviously if I was just starting out, I'd be able to do it. But yeah, that's something I think you could take away from us right now.
Well, and I think you guys are right. It's like everybody's inundated with email, they're inundated with social media, they're inundated with all these other types of communication from the community. So sticking out via snail mail or even a good old phone call or direct video text message is going to set you apart and kind of raise you to the top of awareness to them. So yeah, I like that a lot. We're not doing a good job of snail mail, so that's something we can implement for sure.
What about, if I could ask you guys about your B2B relationship? So like, the mortgage broker I started using, I knew him from before. We were both in real estate, but we weren't really tight. Now we talk all the time. We're super tight. He's become part of my SOI. Do you have business to business relationships that you would now consider your SOI and you're getting, good responses and good referrals from? And also, how would you recommend starting something like that, like a good prospect of something like that?
I'll take that one.
Yeah. So for us, I will tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's hear Austin, and then Alex, you could answer after.
Yeah. So for us, regardless of who the person is or what their stature is, we're serving those people at a high level. But I have business to business partners around town that are not necessarily in the industry that are referring their friends and family to us, and it's because of the level of service that we're doing, and that's something that I talk about a lot is business owners, in our area that are small business owners. They've got 50 to 200 employees. Those are great people to stay in touch with because they're always hearing about different situations coming up, and so I've been able to create those relationships again just by doing these things that we're talking about and making sure that I'm providing an excellent level of value to those people. We do have lender partners. We have title people that will refer deals to us as well. So that has worked out well. Something else that we've gotten a decent amount of business in the past is from asset managers at banks. And those are on some of our larger transactions that we do when it's a distressed property or foreclosure or something like that. But regardless of who that person is or what they are, we're taking care of them and we're serving them at a high level. And so that's just what it goes back to. You never know who you're talking to on the other end of a phone.
Alex, what do you have?
Yeah.
That question there.
Yeah. So I would say, business owners, and also we do have very, solid lending partners that we've been working with for some time. At the end of the day, the mortgage brokers and lenders, they probably experienced a downshift in their business just like we have. So we're all in the same boat. But when they can see how thorough of a process that we have in place, they are more willing to refer to us because they know at the end of the day, we're going to support them. We're going to refer whoever, their client right back to them and, be in their corner. So anytime like we make the call to, a potential buyer, and we know with this buyer, they're connected with a lender, that's the first call we make. We make that call as, this is Alex. I'm working with our mutual client, John, and we wanted to go ahead and make that introduction. From there, you build off that relationship, you deliver at a high level, and they know that you're going to get it to the finish line. And that's exactly what they want, especially in this market. And it's something that we've used, time and time again.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I think that's a lot of value here. So if you have in the chat there, if you have any questions for the guys here, I mean, 3 different markets, 3 different perspectives, various sizes of companies and different approaches. Please put it in there, kind of anything that pops to mind, so we can get it answered. But in the meantime, I'd like to thank these 3 guys.
Hey, John, I do have a script.
Oh,
I do have a script I want to share with the group, if that'd be helpful. So in the beginning, I will tell you that the brokerage said, go ahead and then reach out to your friends and family, and then they're going to refer you all these people. But remember, you had very little experience. And I personally hate bugging my friends or family for real estate. Are you looking to buy or sell? You don't really want to do that. So everyone knows ROI, return on investment. But what I'll do is I'll share with you the script that we used to actually generate more listing opportunities in the last year than we ever have in our 10 years of being in business. So really the acronym is going to be RRI, reason, relevance, invitation. So you want to understand the reason for your call, the relevance of it, and the invitation. So for us, the call for our past clients is this. Hey, John, I had some new clients in my office and they're looking through my past sales history and they fell in love with your house. I know I would have probably heard from you if you're thinking of selling, but I did promise that I would reach out. But hey, have you had any thoughts of selling, or if any of your neighbors are thinking about moving? Because I have this really cool couple that I think should be your neighbors. So that's what we use for our past clients that we haven't connected with effectively at some level, because that at least opens that door. And it also presupposes that if they're thinking about buying or selling, that they would reach out to you. So that sets the framework for that. And when it comes to our sphere of influence, the call that we make is that, hey, this is a quick business call, John. Do you have 30 seconds for me? We have one client and I immediately thought of you because they're looking to buy a home in and around your neighborhood. And I promised them this one thing. If you knew of anyone considering renting or selling your home, have you heard anything in the neighborhood chatter by chance? That's all you want to do, because what happens is that you're going to build your database. You're going to remind them that they're in real estate. But since you led off with the reason for your call, the relevance of the call with who you're working with, and also the invitation to interact, it actually sets the stage for more opportunities. Last year, we did generate 11 listings off of this, majority from past clients. But the same thing that Hal mentioned, that email to go out to your database, we have 6 inquiries. 2 people are thinking about moving. And then on that snail mail point, John, we also mailed it out at the same time. So we got 2 responses from the mail. They may not check their email enough, but you have to be in their inbox in multiple channels to get the most effective success in your business, especially in this time where, most markets are down. There's opportunities for us to, build our business on the way up.
Definitely. That's a great one. I think that's that's an automatic implement for me. And going into this busy market, I know like with interest rate news and everything, that's probably a very timely conversation. So Alex probably just made you guys a bunch of money if you implement right there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. You're making money. Austin, did you have any closing thoughts? We have one question here. I'll get to that, but
No, I appreciate all the insight, and I wrote a couple things down myself.
wicked. And Hal?
I was just gonna say, piggybacking off of Alex and Austin, people love systems, processes, and being well taken care of, right? So if you do those three things for your clients, then you're gonna get referrals, you're gonna get that repeat business, and you're gonna have other people in the community that see that you're doing that. We've won multiple opportunities just because we have a process, or like, because it's so overwhelming for people who are not in the industry to comprehend and to make it through this emotional roller coaster called real estate, right? So if we can be the calm through our systems and processes, that allows them to have that exemplary experience. And then you're going to be golden from that point forward. Just got to stay in touch with them consistently, what will help tremendously as well. So that's my parting shot.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank, on behalf of everybody watching and myself for being on this. I want to thank Alex, Austin, and Hal for joining and giving us their knowledge and their time and all those tidbits that we can implement. So, guys, thank you very much. And, have a great day.
Thank y'all.
So as they're leaving, we're going to get our next speaker in here. So this will be Joe Borland, of the Borland Real Estate Team and eXp Realty. He will be talking to us today on scripting and role playing to increase our conversion rates. So he'll be in here next. But just to answer one question in the chat there, and I think I'll take that snail mail question myself because that's kind of a bit of my wheelhouse. Which service do I have doing that? That is pretty much just my grandmother there. So that's Nona Rhoda and a good pen going. But I would also, if you don't have like a third-party service, I find using third-party services, they were kind of they didn't really care as much. They have a lot of clients, they have a lot of things they're doing, it's not all real estate or whatever. So I would, everyone knows somebody like a stay-at-home mom or something like that, or someone who's on mat leave that can make a little bit of extra cash. That's kind of one I would approach. So Joe's in here now. So Joe, welcome. Thank you for being in here with us. And yeah, we'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you could be a little bit louder and would be good.
I will just try to scream a little bit. How about that?
Yeah, scream at us.
I'll go a little Justin on you, and I'll just be super excited because that dude has got energy.
Oh man, I'm awake for the whole year now. It just if you don't scream at us, it's not gonna sink. So
okay, all right. So I will go full on Justin on you guys. Really appreciate everybody that's participated so far. Definitely got some notes myself, and I'm going to talk about prospecting and the idea behind prospecting. We're going to go maybe to a little bit of scripts. Justin talked about that, and I appreciate the fact that his point was he doesn't use scripts. I think what we all really need is a couple things, but then the idea of what to say. So when you work with a new agent, they're brand new, they have no idea what to say, right? Well, that helps with scripts and kind of practicing those. If you guys don't do role play regularly, you are missing out. Role play should be a part of your weekly activity, if not daily. There's no excuse for it. Find somebody to role play with you. Role play with your dog. My dog is tired of hearing about real estate and how I can get them to buy a home. Anybody can help you in role play. But the goal of having a conversation with somebody is to, of course, sell their house. But whenever you're prospecting, the goal is to try and get an appointment. That's really what we're trying to do. Now, the appointment can be a few things. It can be a buyer consultation. It can be, of course, showing them a home, getting them to a lender, or a kind of a weaker one would be a follow-up. And if you don't get one of those things, then we're trying to just gather information, because most people don't buy a house on the first call. When you first call them, they don't say, yeah, I want to buy a house right away. It takes a little bit of time. So if you don't get one of those first appointments, that's fine. Just get information from that prospect. And what you're really trying to do is build rapport. So I'm going to give you guys the top 10 list of prospecting things that you need to know and skills that if you can just think of these top 10 things, you will be a better prospector and a better agent on the phone. So my first thing that you need to do is to just be curious. You absolutely, when you're on the phone with anybody, now this is actually even on the phone or meeting them in person or any other area, you have to be curious about what it is that these people are, what they like, who they like, what they don't like. So all those questions that you're going to be answering or asking is all about, how are you guys doing? What do you guys think of this? I'm an Arizona State Sun Devil guy. You can see my helmet behind me. If they like U of A, which is our arch rival, we're going to have a conversation about that. I want to be curious about what it is that they like. So don't be too intimidated about asking questions. The other thing, and this has been touched on already today, is you've got to be diligent and you got to be dedicated. You have to have consistency when it comes to your outbound calls and your time that you're going to actually prospect. If you're the person that haphazardly thinks maybe I'm going to go out and make a few phone calls today, the chances of you actually making them are ridiculously slim. And I can guarantee you the people that are on this call have a schedule. Now, Justin talked about his. I know the rest of the guys here that have spoken, and they all have schedules. Mine starts actually at 4:45 in the morning, and I'm booked out until 11 o'clock every day. I have a set schedule. And if it deviates from that, it actually makes me upset because I like my schedule and I get more done in the mornings than most people do in the day because it's a set schedule. And no, it didn't start easy. I didn't always wake up at 4:45. I just kind of backed it up as I wanted to do more in my life. And once you have that, it creates a habit and it's super easy. I don't even think about it anymore. My alarm actually goes off, but I'm usually up before it does at 4:45 just because it's a habit. And that will set you up to go, hey, at 9 o'clock, 8:30, whatever time it is, you're going to make your hour prospecting calls. It's already done. You just know every day you're going to do it. So just do it. Make no excuses about it. So the third thing is when you're talking to somebody, find commonality. Find something that you guys have similar, because ultimately you want to build the rapport. And if you can find some commonality, like going back to the ASU thing, if somebody is a Sun Devil, hey, when did you go to school? What'd you study there? Oh, really? I'm a political science major. That's why I sell real estate. Talk about something that you guys have in common, whether sports is really easy for me or where somebody lived. I've traveled around quite a bit. So if they're from, let's say, Washington, I have some commonality with that. And I want to know where they're from. And then I'd be curious about where they're from. What did they do while they're in Washington? Why are they wanting to come to Arizona? Ask those questions, and man, you build up great rapport, and you're just having a conversation with another human being. Because at the end of the day, I think we're mostly talking to human beings on the other side that have problems and joys and loves that they want to and goals that they want to accomplish too. Just find out more about them. Whether it's about real estate or not, you always kind of want to get it back to real estate because that's what we eventually do. And the other thing, real simple on that, is listen for clues. Did you hear a dog barking in the background? Did you hear a baby crying in the background? Is something really exploding in the background? Did it sound like they just got in a car wreck? Those are little clues that you can lean into, ask about. Because if it's a straightforward, no, I was just looking, and then there's a dog barking in the background, and you say, oh, you were just looking, okay. Then that's a more difficult path to go on and try to build rapport, because now you have to ask about real estate versus, oh, I hear a dog in the background. Is that yours? Oh, what kind of dog is it? Oh, did you get him? Is that like a purebred? Or did you get him from the pound? Is your dog like my dog and they basically are our family and they run everything? Those conversations are great to have. And these people, they just love it because they want to talk about, obviously, what they want to talk about. So don't be nervous about hearing something in the background and talking about it. Guess what? They heard it too. So it's not a mystery that a dog was barking in the background. Go ahead and ask them about that. Next thing is you need to find their motivation. You got to find their pain point. Even if somebody says, I'm just looking for a bigger house. Do you know most people move because of a pain, not because they won the lottery and they want a bigger house? It's because obviously they're having kids or they got parents moving in or something like that. that's going to cause them pain or discomfort. And so they want to get out of that discomfort. Most people are way more motivated by the stick than they are the carrot. So whatever the stick is, it's beating them into a new place to live. You got to find that motivation. If there is no motivation, that's a tough buyer or a tough seller if they're really not motivated. But digging deep, I don't know about you, but I didn't go look for, an RV today because I'm not looking to buy one. But if somebody's looking for an RV, they have probably some sort of motivation to go buy one, even if it's distant or not. There's a motivation for these people to make the inquiry. And buying a house is tough. As convenient as it can be made, it is still difficult in today's world. So you want to make sure that you find out what that inconvenience is for them. And now you can hone your conversation to that because you're the solution to their problem. They just don't know it yet. Next, that was number 5. Number 6, have energy. It's showtime. They don't care that you're sick. By the way, I have food poisoning right now. I'm not even joking. It's been the worst 2 days ever. I hope you guys would have never known that I was really in a bad shape here earlier today and all of the last 2 days. But the reality is, it's showtime. Nobody cares if you are sick, if anything is bad, if you have a cold, nobody cares. Let me repeat that. Nobody cares. Your spouse is inconvenienced by you being sick, but they don't care. As much as my wife loves me, and she's been great in this time. But when you go on or you're making a phone call to somebody and you're feeling bad and you're lethargic, they don't care. Literally, I want you to slap your hands before you start making phone calls and go, showtime. All right? It really is the time for you to put up the energy and move on from it. Now, on that note, if you can't fake energy and you're a monotone speaker, like you're somebody that is very calm, we have, I'm thinking of Nick McLean right now, very tonality, I won't say monotone with Nick, but he's just a very calm speaker. If you're that type of person, your words need to be that much better than the person that has energy. Because if you are a monotone speaker and don't know what to say, nobody's going to listen to you. It is extremely hard to get past monotone and a bad speaker doesn't know what to say. So if you are a calm speaker, you have to practice more. You have to practice what it is that you're going to say. We had an ISA once on my team, super energetic. She had no idea what she was doing, but she was so energetic that she was just endearing to people, and she would get appointments because she just had so much energy. It was that bubbly character that was just fun. Everybody loves this gal. But she didn't know what to say, but she was good because of her energy. Remember, the opposite if you're a monotone speaker. So anybody that is very calm, you've got to practice more than the energy people. Sorry, it's just your burden that you've got to carry. All right, next, number 7. You are the guide of the story, not the hero. If you guys have never heard of this before, I know there's a book that talks about this, and I cannot remember what it is. But we as the real estate agents oftentimes want to be the hero because we're going to go find the house and we're going to make it all happen for them. We're the hero. If you take that mentality, that client will not feel special. They're going to think it's all about you, when the reality is it's all about them. And when you say, I think, I believe, this is actually my number 9 thing, I'm going to jump ahead. What you think, it makes it about you and not about them. You have to make it about them every single time. They don't care about you, remember? If you were sick and died, they don't care. They want to buy a house. And you have to have that mentality every single time you're talking to somebody. And to piggyback a little bit, that they don't care, they don't want you to think. When you're making an outbound call to somebody that doesn't know you, and I hear this a lot, and I critique my team on this a lot. They've gotten a lot better with this, but they know it's a pet peeve of mine. Hey, I think that you should talk to a lender. Why? What authority do you have to tell somebody that doesn't know you what you think? I've sold thousands of houses, been doing this for 20 plus years, top 1% in the nation. And if I tell somebody what they think, guess what they think? Who are you? All right. They don't care because you have to build the authority before you can give them your opinion. So you have to word your questions around the fact that, hey, most people talk to a lender first before they go look at houses, which is different than, I think you should talk to a lender before you go look at houses. Just a little word game. Just tweak that just a little bit. Other question that is we'll call it number 9. We'll say that don't care what you think. People don't care what you think or about what you believe yet. So we're going to say number 9, ask open-ended questions. This is pretty straightforward, and I think everybody has heard this before, but I hear a lot of people make statements that they intend it to be a question. And yes, that's very American. We'll say a lot of things that are statements expecting somebody to answer. But when you're driving the conversation, it's about whoever asks the questions is in charge, is leading the conversation. So we want to be that person that asks the questions. By making a statement, is it really a question? Are you giving up control at that point? If you expect them to answer a question, ask a question and make that question open-ended so that we can go back to building that rapport. And if you're genuinely curious, which was the number one thing about somebody, you're going to think about questions that you might want to know about them. The last thing, and this is hard for a lot of people, and this is the thing I think that gets people having a really hard time making phone calls. Guys, don't take it personal. If somebody hangs up the phone on you, yells at you, calls you a bad name, calls you a U of A person, that's a bad name in our world. If they do that, it's because you happen to have called them, but it's not about you. You're just happen to be the person that called them. It's not you. They don't know you. So you have to not take it personal if somebody hangs up on you. The reality is, I can assure you, I'm a super nice guy, but on my bad days, I'm not a nice guy. I think that goes with most people. If you catch somebody on their worst part of their life, you're going to think that person's a total jerk. You might have just caught them in a bad day. They could have just spilled coffee on themselves and you made the phone call and they're not happy to be talking to you. You don't know. And I know of my experience of making literally tens of thousands of phone calls. I have called somebody one day, they've hung up. I call them the next day or the day after that, have a great conversation. I just called them at the wrong time. And remember, you're inconveniencing them. They don't know you're calling. Oftentimes they put their name in, get bombarded with people calling them. They had no idea it was going to happen, and you're just one of them. So don't take it personal. It's okay. And last thing's a little bonus here. John Cheplak, we already mentioned him. I think Justin did earlier. I stole this from yesterday because I thought it was so good from a meeting we had yesterday. Find something they love to talk about. You're going to find something they love to talk about if you find commonality and you're curious right off the bat. If you're curious, you're going to find something they love to talk about. It might be their cat, their dog, their kids, their work, sports teams, whatever. But man, imagine if you're finding something that they love to talk about, how much better a conversation starter could be to do that. And because you want to have length of conversation, the longer conversations you have, you tend to have more rapport, which gives you more opportunity to be their agent. That's what it's about. That's what I have to go off right now. If anybody has any questions, I'm trying to cut mine a little bit short because I know we had some delays and we want to keep on time. If I do have some scripts that I can throw out there a little bit if you guys want that, or if you had any questions.
Yeah, that was wicked. I think that's a lot for people to go off of. If you can drop the top 10 there in the chat, I think people would definitely appreciate that. So if you have any questions for Joe, please put them in there. Well, we're waiting to see if any questions pop up. I just wanted to piggyback off some of the things you said. I know my business partner does these things too. So one of the ones that sparked my memory was the sports rivalry you mentioned there. We're hockey country over here. So Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, we're a 3-hour drive apart. It's, you're either blue or red over here on that side of things. So he likes to do is anybody who is a Calgary fan of his, one of his like past client touch points is whenever there's a game, especially if the Oilers win, he calls them and razzes his past clients pretty hard on that. So like that, I think that's something that just brought it up, just reminded me. So that's something you could take away as like a very personable SOI past client touch. And then the other one with the energy on your points there, like he, again, my business partner, he can't sit and make calls because he doesn't bring it. So like he stands, and if he's not standing, he's walking and talking. He can't not walk and talk, but he brings it when he's on the phone. So maybe something.
I have standing desks in our office. I'm currently at home right now. We have standing desks everywhere. They'll go up and down, hit a button. I'm standing right now. I can't, like, having a standing desk is an absolute game changer that anybody that wants to be consistent on the phone, you can walk around, you can move, like I'm going back and forth. It just adds to that energy. And as soon as the Dallas Cowboys lost, I texted about 12 people different Dallas Cowboy crying memes. Exactly. Now, I'm in Arizona, but if you're either a fan of the Cowboys or you absolutely hate them. And so it's very good to just send off, some of those type of things. And it's lighthearted and it's fun. And anybody that's a true sports fan appreciates that kind of banter. And if you guys aren't sports fans, find something else. Sports just happens to be the easiest thing because any sports fan wants to cheer for their team and they want to hate their, rivalry. And it's just an easy conversation to have. But anything that you can think of that somebody might like that they did really well on, I don't know if they're, like the orchestra or something, you can say, hey, the orchestra is coming into town. Are you going? Something like that. But sports is way the easiest thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great one to get some good conversations going. All right. It looks like everyone's just giving you the praises and the thank yous. The one question was just to post that top 10 if you could when you're off here. And yeah, we had someone say that memes are also so good. Yeah, all those types of small lighthearted touches.
Absolutely.
Joe, again.
And just last thing to say, I'm going to put that top 10 thing. You're at the end of it, and I teach my team this, you're just having a conversation with another person, right? They have fears, they have desires and goals, apprehensions. Just know that you're talking to somebody on the other side. We call them leads, we call them prospects, we call them buyers and sellers, but they're just people. And if you were having a conversation with somebody just in front of you, how would you have a conversation? Just literally ask questions, get to know the people, be freaking curious about them. The rest of it is actually pretty easy once you're just doing those things. Now, to get to the next level of prospecting, you need to have some arrows in your quiver on what to say. Like you need to have an opening line. It's Joe Bortham Real Estate Team. I'm following up on your inquiry from a while back. Did you ever purchase a home? Okay. I literally have said that thousands and thousands and thousands of times. I don't even think about it anymore. And from there, what's the follow-up? It's going to be, no, I didn't buy. Yes, I already bought. And then once they bought, I hear a lot of people say, oh, their demeanor goes down because the person already bought. Guys, if they already bought, okay, we have a thing called HomeBot. I don't know if you guys have that in your area that's going to send them market valuations every month. I get excited and say, oh, fantastic. Where'd you end up buying? Hey, it's a great neighborhood. How'd you choose your agent? And then we can find out about their agent. And then I can find out if they had a good experience with them. And guess what? If they didn't have a good experience with them, then there maybe is an opportunity when they go to sell that we could be their agents. I hook them up with HomeLight and it's all win. It's always exciting. It's always good news. Everything's always good news when we're talking to prospects. All right. That's it for me. I'll put that stuff in there.
Wicked. We appreciate you, Joe. That's some great knowledge. I mean, everyone's loving what you're saying here. And even for me, again, takeaways, I'm going to implement with my team right away here. So I can't wait to get that top 10 list and put it in our script playbook.
Sounds good, man.
Have a good day, Joe. Thank you.
See ya. Hi, Jessica.
Okay, we're bringing in now we're pretty close to on time. Might go a little bit over here, but this is the last talk today. Tanya Bo with MBNA Realty and Jessica Boswell with the Jessica Boswell team at EXP Realty. We're going to be talking about, successful personality, acting your way to success. So this is kind of can go any direction. It is kind of an open-ended topic, but it's more about, you know, how we present ourselves and how we carry ourselves. So yes, we have Tanya here, Jessica here. Thank you for being on, and we can get started.
Thank you so much for having us, John. It's so nice that you put this together. It's been great.
Do you want to introduce yourselves here quick, and then I can get the questions for you?
Go ahead, Tanya.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya Bobe, owner broker of MBNA Realty. We are right smack in the middle of Central Florida in a little town called Sebring.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. I'm Jessica Boswell. I am the owner of the J. Boswell team at eXp Realty. We cover all of Connecticut. We're just a small team that's growing. We have about 15 members and growing.
Wicked. Awesome. Well, let's get right into it. I'll ask the first question here. So can you share some personal experiences where adopting certain actions or behaviors has helped you develop a trait or a characteristic that you initially thought you didn't possess, like maybe getting into business here, like, you know, what you didn't think you'd become or learn coming into real estate?
Yeah, for sure. You want me to tackle that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. I love talking about this topic because I was a scientist for 10 years before getting into real estate. And that's just a really uncommon occupation to change into real estate, right? To switch into real estate. And so during that time, I was relatively introverted. You know, I spoke to the same 5 people about the same like boring topics, weather and what are you eating for lunch? And then I would go and hang out with my test tubes. And after work, I would read, I would take care of my house, I would take walks with my dog. And so that was my life. It was very calm and very predictable. And I didn't really get out of my comfort zone, like at all. And so when I found myself face to face with real estate and part of the top team at the time in St. Louis, and oh, by the way, Jessica, you're going to be a listing agent. You're only working with sellers and you're not working with anybody that you know because you're not from St. Louis. It was do or die, right? It was do or die. And so I said, all right, I'm going to throw myself into it. I'm going to listen to my team leader and I'm going to do as she says. And I will succeed. And just like our first speaker said, right? You put yourself in that mindset. And so what I did was I scripted and role played in front of my peers every day. I really did that. It's so awful and uncomfortable. If you can do it in front of your peers, you can do it with anybody, right? Mm-hmm. And I called for sale by owners and expireds. That got me really out of my comfort zone. Like I did it. My heart was freaking pounding out of my chest. And I did it. I did it because the discomfort was not worse than the result of not doing it, right? If we don't do these things, we don't feed our families. All right. So, and then I would go to these appointments also afraid, but prepared, right? Because preparation and research is the mother of confidence. And so by putting myself in these situations and really pushing myself out of my comfort zone, I realized that like I loved challenging myself. I absolutely loved being able to walk into a for sale by owner's house and freaking crush. Like I loved that feeling. It was like that adrenaline, right? And I loved being able to do things that I didn't believe I could do. And so like I grew into that mindset, hyper competitive, super duper out there. So really just by keeping myself open to what my team leader had to teach me and believing in myself that I could do it.
That's wicked. Tanya, what did you think about that? Or
well, I am completely the opposite. I was the type that jump in and figure it out as I go. So I was probably the most unlikely person to get into real estate out of my entire family, coming from a medical background, and was in medical sales with actually a company out of Connecticut. And I was always considered the undercover agent. I actually got my license in 2015. And the bulk of I would say 99% of everybody that I work with was really just a referral. Somebody that said, call Tanya. So I would think that the one thing that you as a person coming into the business or kind of restructuring yourself and recommitting yourself to the business is just to learn to be disciplined enough to do the right thing each and every time. People do remember you. One of the nicest compliments I ever got when I first started in real estate was, I remember how you treated me X time with this business situation. And I knew that you would do right by me here. And I ended up helping them purchase their first home. And I also ended up selling their first home when they outgrew it. Um, so it, you know, all types of personalities and all types of backgrounds can be really successful in real estate, and I think that that's what makes everybody really unique into what we bring to the table. I work in a very small area, a very rural area in Florida. I always joke with people, I'm like, that NASA picture with Florida and it's all lit up and then there's like one dark hole. That's where I'm at. So I have to do a little bit of everything. I have to be the jack of all trades. I have to work with the listing, with the with the sellers. I have to work with the buyers. Otherwise, we don't eat. So I always strive to find that discipline, and it happens at any time and at any age. I have a birthday on Friday. I'll be 50 years old and I'm still working on that discipline and that consistency to really go back to the basics and encourage myself and kind of walk the walk and show everybody, let's do the role playing, let's make the phone calls, let's go out and do what we need to do. One of my favorite things that in Reside we say is work works. So I would encourage anybody to really kind of take a look at that personality trait that you have. Jessica is amazing as far as having that scientific effort, and she was very you know um, very good about finding that line and researching and preparing herself. And then there was me who, I just went out there and I was like, blah, I'm just this crazy little Puerto Rican girl in the middle of Florida. Hi, how are you? And so it wasn't until I started my brokerage in the height of COVID on 2020 that I literally just had that structure and that discipline, and oh my god, I got to get this and this and this done, and really see um, the benefits of all of that. So that's what I would encourage anybody, is to find that discipline within themselves to get the job done, because work works.
Wicked. Yeah, I think for me, to touch on that, my personal experience that kind of pushed me out. Like I was in superintendent, project manager before, building residential real estate, before real estate sales, and that was an industry where it was more, I had my processes, I had my schedule, and I basically just had to call people and tell them what to do. And I can't really do that with clients, much like Joe said. I can't just, hey, go make sure that you get your mortgage pre-approval. Just go make sure that you're doing this. It didn't work. So my personal experience was sitting at the end of my first year looking at my deals, have only done 6 deals. And I started when I was 21 years old. So like I was 21, I didn't even rent a house yet, still living at home. I'm trying to advise people on buying and selling houses, and I'm dictating to them what they need to do. And I'm like, I only have 6 deals. Like, I'm not going to make it in this industry. And I think that was the personal experience that kicked me into doing all these habits that you guys are talking about, the role playing and putting myself out there. And then eventually I've put myself in enough rooms, and now I'm lucky to sit in the same room as all of you here today. So that I've gotten myself somewhere with that. So that's good.
And what a blessing that is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the good part. I appreciate it for sure. If I could ask you guys the next question. So could you tell me, like, what role do you think self-awareness plays in the process of like consciously shaping your personality and like shaping your approach to business and our clients that we serve? What role does self-awareness play there?
Well, I've become very self-aware lately. So, but again, it really falls back to that discipline and knowing exactly what you want, and how to go about it. I think that as an agent, you obviously want to find that motivation that really makes you go, whether that's to be, in the top 1%, or you want to be number one in your office, or you want to be, um, recognized as Rookie of the Year or Realtor of the Year with your local organization, your local board. You have to find that in yourself. I think that I have evolved. I've always been competitive, but I haven't, this in the position that I'm in right now. I have to be more of a global situation because I want my agents to win. I want my agents to feel supported. I want my agents to know that they have the resources, and I want my agents to make money because that's the name. That's the name of the game. At the end of the day, we have to do the right things at the right time, and as a result, we are compensated for a job well done. So it's raising that bar and really striving every day to ensure that everybody has what they need. It might be a little bit different with Jessica as well as with you, John, and everything, but with me, my motivation is keeping my business compliant and afloat and providing the resources. One of the things that we did was join Reside in September, which has been life changing and transforming. So we're really excited about everything that we're learning and that we are contributing. So contribution is key, and helping each other is fundamental in this game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love that. So, yeah, self awareness. I mean, talk about self awareness. Start a business. It's literally the best counselor you will ever have.
Amen.
Start a business, grow a business, right?
Mhm.
And so, basically, like with self awareness, like we don't know what we don't know. And you're not going to find out what you don't know until you put yourself in a bunch of different situations that allow you to explore and then inspect how you're going to behave in those situations, right? And then, being able to step back and objectively evaluate, really like I sounded really jerky. I was too forceful. I wasn't listening very well, whatever. Being able to objectively evaluate those things helps you to become more self-aware. And then at the end of the day, though, like we can only really be ourselves, right? We're not changing our personalities, doing like 180 Jekyll and Hyde, right? We're not doing that. Um, we need to be authentic. We need to be ourselves, and we will attract the people that love our authentic selves. And we need to get comfortable also with people not liking us. Like it's all good. Like there are a million realtors out there. There are lots of team leaders out there too. And you're going to find your match, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So
Yeah,
Love
I run with our team like a 1 in 3 principle. So if there's that one person who doesn't mesh with you, or you don't mesh with them, and you have to put so much extra energy into just converting them and working them and making them like you probably could use that same amount of energy and split that into 3 people who would have vibed with you, and then you would make way more money or have way better connections with
yeah.
the same amount of work. When it comes to self-awareness, for me, I'm thinking like every single day I'm growing with the self-awareness thing. And one thing, like sometimes I'm quick to answer when someone's saying something. I'm just like, can I grab those words and pull them back into my mouth? And I wish I didn't say it like that. But then I'm aware of that, like right in the instance, and I'm critiquing myself, and I'm making sure for next time I'm not, either as quick or as not as thorough, or didn't give the right answer, or maybe I'm not speaking correctly to, like, it's a customer versus I just got off the phone with my friend and now I'm talking to a customer and I'm saying something like how I would talk to a friend, not a customer. I'm just so it's just little self-aware things like that in every instance here.
And I just want to add something to what you're saying, John, because sometimes we focus too much on ourselves, but we also need to be aware of what that person is saying. And there's times that we need to give a little bit of grace to that person, because maybe they're saying something that doesn't come out the right way, or we're misunderstanding as a result, or something like that. So it is a two-way street. So becoming more self-aware is yes, it's looking inside and saying, yes, I need to do this and this and this, but it's also how we react to that person, whether we're giving some grace, or then we have to say, hey, here's my boundary, and how we go forth with that. So, this business is a great business, and it is a business that you learn who you are very quickly, especially when you're doing it full time. So absolutely.
Definitely.
And that also comes with wisdom. Wait until you get to my age.
Look,
I
Dan's
think we
not
got
with you, girl.
I think we got time for one more question. We were, like I said, we're running a little bit late. We'll bang out one more question here just to make sure we're giving enough value to everybody who spent their time with us here. So, last one. How do you address the challenge of maintaining like your personal, like your authenticity, while consistently adopting like new behaviors or new habits, or like? And this is a great question for someone who's watched everything we've talked about today from all these different people. How do you personally adopt these new things while maintaining your own authenticity?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we can only really be who we are, right? We are who we are. And however, because a lot of us come from other lines of work, we come with all of these awesome personality traits that we can take and expand on, right? And we can take them and tweak them to our advantage in sales, right? So, I'm into data analysis. I'm like a data geek, right? Guess what? Who values your house better than any agent in Connecticut? Me. Who can run a mean CMA, right? So, and I'm passing that on to my agents. I just love that. I'm teaching them all how to be their data geeks. All right. So, or, I love reading books. I'm like a bookworm, right? So that allows me to establish rapport with a wide variety of people. We have so much to talk about. I'll go out on showings and, we're talking about whatever, the last book we read, or I don't know, like I'm cultural as well. So music, movies, whatever, things that are going on, and I love my dogs and all of that. So there's plenty to talk about there, that I can pull from my old life. And then just being direct, that's one thing that, that I've always been. And I really appeal to people that just need, put it to me straight, man. Just tell it to me straight. And so that actually could turn a lot of people off in like a scientific environment where people are very focused on, and they're easily offended. Right. So, yeah, I think being able to identify those positive character traits and twist them so that they can fit your sales and run and drive your business is really great. You're holding on to yourself. You're not letting go of yourself. You're just taking those things that are great about you and making them even better.
Tanya, you have anything to add about that question? Yeah, please, if you have anything to add about that.
Well, I know we're running low on time, but absolutely, there's certain things that you can do to really, I tell people all the time, what you see is what you get. The Tanya that you see in Facebook, that you see at Publix, that you see at Walmart, it's the same Tanya that you're going to get at the office. So I think that is important. And I think with me, it works a little bit more because we are in such a small area. So if you're in a big town, I think that what is important is that what you're portraying out there in your social media is consistent to the person that you truly are. My kids are my life. Lola Cash, my dog, comes to the office every day. I post about her riding in the cars, going to listing appointments, being in the office, greeting people, So when you can show that you're doing the same things that you're showing every day, anybody can walk into my office and find Lola, or find one of the kids, or find, me at a dance competition or at a band concert. So I think people learn to relate to that, and they kind of endear themselves to you in that regards. And I think it's just very important, because I don't think that all of us would hate to find somebody and they're like, oh, well, they're not like that. I think that that's really disappointing. So, be who you are at all times, good or bad. Give yourself a little bit of a grace if you're in a bad mood. Maybe that's not the time to answer the phone. Learn some self-control in that regards. But, just really go out there and what you see is what you get, and be that. There's no reason to fake a personality or to fake. You can fake the work ethic because you're doing the work to get there. You can fake it till you make it because you're actually doing it to get there. But when it comes to you, just be yourself, be who you are, because at that point nobody can say, oh well, she's one way here and one way the other one. No, it's Tanya. I think that anybody in my office can say it's Tanya across the board. Just my self all the time.
Well, one thing I would say for me, quick, and then we'll wrap it up here. But for maintaining authenticity, when I'm learning all these new things, and even learning from the two of you in our groups and all the things you're doing, it's like, can I rewrap that to make it sound like it's coming from me? Being conscious of it, and then also knowing that I can only take on so much I can take on. So you hear all the things, even in a call like this, or in conferences or on YouTube or wherever, and I want to do this, and it's like, the more you start to become all these other people and their ideas, the less you are yourself through it. So my thing I would say for maintaining your authenticity while adopting new habits and behaviors is to do it slowly. Don't rush through it. Take one at a time, maybe two at a time, and then once you're good with those, and it sounds like it's coming from you, it sounds like you're the yourself, then adopt something else and slowly add to that. Like for me, I know Joe was saying 4:45 in the morning. I'm the opposite. I'm up all night because I get so much done from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., but I'm still making calls at 8:30 in the morning with Joe. I'm just a night owl. I'm a minority for that, but that works for me. So do what works for you, one thing at a time, one step at a time, and you'll get there eventually.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I want to say thank you to you two, Tanya and Jessica, for doing this with us and sharing some wisdom. And like I said, we're out of time, and there wasn't really any questions, just praise in the chat here. So everyone's thanking us and thanking
Thank you. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. And everybody who was able to be on here and watch today, sorry for the technical difficulty in the beginning. This is our first iteration, and we'll be doing it again, and you'll hear more from like our group and people who we network with and other leaders in our industry. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for more content that we're bringing to you, even just one-on-one conversations I'll be having, with almost all of these people and many more. So thank you for being here. We appreciate your time, and hope you got something that you can apply and take action on right away. All right. Good luck with the start of the year here in 2024.